Hey friends! I'm making a reading wrap-up every Monday until I'm all caught up. I did not read very many books during September. I did, however, get to spend time with a lot of people that I care about. My friend Char came to visit over Labor Day weekend, and I got to meet him for the very first time after being friends with him for literal years now. I went on a family road trip in order to attend my aunt's memorial service and met some of my nibblings for the very first time. It was a weird intergenerational circle of life kind of trip. September felt almost normal to me. I went to my little brother's football games, I traveled, I spent time with family and friends that I have not seen in a very long time. It felt like things are getting better. While I was out in the world though, I didn't prioritize reading and only read 3 books in September, which admittedly is still a pretty good amount of books to have read. I read 1 young adult fiction book, 1 romance, and 1 non-fiction book. The young adult fiction book I read was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. This is considered to be a young adult classic, being one of the first books to show that the lives of teenagers aren't all gloss and glamour, but that people face real problems all throughout their lives. This book follows Ponyboy Curtis as he tries to figure out right from wrong as a societal outsider. This book is really about class struggle, gang violence, and kids being forced to grow up too quickly by a cruel world. It's easy to see how so much of the young adult fiction I've loved over the years has been inspired by this book. It was also pretty cool to see things that I now read as tropes being used here in a space before they were really considered tropes. It was a little dated since it was published over 50 years ago, but overall I think it holds up. I am giving The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton 4 stars. The romance book I read was One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This book was possibly the most highly anticipated release of the year in 2021. I signed up for my library's waitlist as soon as I was able to, and it was still a months-long wait until I finally got to read it. A lot of this anticipation came from the extreme popularity of Casey McQuiston's debut novel, Red, White, and Royal Blue. One Last Stop is a romance book between August, a bisexual young woman who was raised by a single mother who taught her to be a self-reliant detective, and Jang Soo, a Chinese-American lesbian from the 1970s who was trapped out of time and on the subway line. I very rarely get to read about queer Asians despite being one myself, and I am hungry for the representation, just for the chance to see more people like me out in the world, even if that world is fictional. I think this book did something really special because I felt seen, at least partially. I found the relationship positively swoon-worthy and at times steamy. There is a wide cast of well-thought-out and interesting characters, from August's 3 roommates to their drag queen accountant neighbor to the people Jane meets on the train. Everyone here feels special, like if we just dig a little bit deeper, we'll not only know them, but love them too. I also liked exploring moments of queer history through the historical elements of learning about Jane's life before she was trapped on the subway, her memories of what it was like to live as a queer Asian in San Francisco, New Orleans, and New York, and the tragedies she lived through all felt remarkable. And then of course you're reminded that these were things that real people actually lived through. And when I realized that, I remember feeling so grateful to the queer people who came before me and fought for me to have the rights and safety that I have now. The science fiction elements were also pretty cool, but without being too much for people who aren't well acquainted with the genre. Overall, this beautifully complex story with overlapping genres and strong character work just took my breath away. I'm giving One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston 5 stars. The last book I read in September was Unfuck Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop. My therapist said that this was a book that had helped some of their other clients, but I did not find this book particularly helpful to me. I don't think the advice in this book was particularly bad, but I've been in therapy whenever my family could afford it since I was like 12, so none of the things in this book were new ideas to me. I also didn't find the blunt delivery particularly helpful. This book lays out some of the basic ideas of cognitive behavioral therapy, which could absolutely be helpful to some people. But without any actionable steps, I don't think it is exceptional or life-changing. I do think that the author succeeded in creating a short and accessible book that could help people who might otherwise stay away from therapy due to the taboo of seeking mental health help, or might not be able to afford regular therapy, and that's a good thing that they're helping them. I'm giving Unfuck Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop 3 stars. Those are all 3 books I read in September of 2021, and thanks for watching, everyone. Please tell me down in the comments about someone you want to spend more time with in the coming year. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe, watch another video of mine, or support me on Patreon. And hey, I love you.